right? This one is Shaman.
Shaman?
Yeah,
Cool.
this one's Shaman. It's got a little bit of a Bill trailer and a little bit of a John Basquiat vibe to it. And then there's Mystery Tramp. That's the one that's in the front by the amp. Mystery Tramp. And there's Talisman. The Talisman is the purple one. But what was so great about working with them, I started talking to them about, yo, I got this idea. You know, I was kind of open. They were like, yo, man, we'd like to do something with you. So then I came up with this stuff, and I had these 3 different art pieces, and I actually did this with Dolly, with you know, which is kind of controversial. So I did this with Dolly too. I did a bunch of these things, right? And we were trying to pick one design, and they dug all the designs. I said, well, why don't we just do one series and just do 3 variants? And they went for it.
Cool.
And then when I picked out the hobo signs, I just sent them to Joe Naylor, who's the designer, and he just picked out which ones that he wanted. And the pickup covers are West African Adinkra symbols, but each one is like an aphorism. So really, I wanted to create this thing that was like a combination of the futuristic, but kind of more thinking about tribal things, thinking about Americana. You know what I mean? Thinking about the outside. It's kind of conceived as a kind of an art project.
Right.
A playable art project. That's cool. That's why it has this finish. It's like a matte finish as opposed to a gloss finish, because you get a more painterly vibe from a matte finish.
Amazing, dude.
But I love these guys because they at one point at no point did they say, "Oh, that's a little much." They went with it. Each one has a wooden truss rod cover, and each one they have all of these things kind of in common, except for the bit, but each of them has their own individual truss rod covers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's meant to be the kind of thing to encourage people to play outside the boundaries.
Right.
It's not meant to be. In a way, it has a play with tradition, because the hobo signs are really a very traditional thing, and the Adinkra symbols are very traditional, but they're in a weird relationship. I did use kind of AI stuff, but I did it in collaboration with the designer. So it's like so I wanted this kind of play between the ancient, the future, tradition, non-tradition, and you know, I think it's worth. But the other thing, the bottom line is a fucking great. Like these pickups, they're great. They're great with distortion. They have a great range of tones. Like
nice.
Yeah, as guitars, like I would always play my Hammers, right, or my PRSs, because they're like comfort food. And I remember the first time I was on stage, and I was going to my tech, and my tech was like, "Yo, man, this guitar's a dope." He just
really light too.
Yeah, and so I would have normally went from my old Hammer, and I said, "Nah, give me the Reverend," and it's kind of been like that, and that was like a funny moment.
Right.
Because I would never not pick up one of my old joints.
Right.
And it was the first time. And also the other thing is that these are passive pickups. They have the kind of volume and sustain of an active system, but there's no battery.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey everybody, it's Ken Haas coming to you live. But this isn't live, this is recorded. But this is NAMM 2025. It's like January something. We've been here for 2 days. Our voices are shot. Our heads are doing this. I'm gonna be talking, and then I'm gonna go. And that's just like me resetting, trying to gather my thoughts. So don't be alarmed. Don't call 911. We're gonna do this, and we're doing this for Kick Snare.
Yep, Kick Snare.
I love that.
Thank you. No, it's not all about drums. It's somewhat about drums, but we love guitars, and we love guitars. We love
Excellent.
All so thank you.
Reverend Guitars, 27 years at the NAMM show.
Wow,
And
congrats.
we do a lot of really interesting stuff, but I figure you got to be in this business for a long time before you even get noticed. And so here we are. And look, we're getting noticed. This guy noticed me right away.
Indeed.
So we have a couple of really cool distinct features that go transcend the line. We use Carina for the body wood on everything, and Carina is like a really good lightweight tone wood with a sort of an accented mid-range. All of the guitars are made, believe it or not, by hand. Pin routers, hand sanding, no CNC machines in the factory. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just that the factory that we work with does everything old school. It's a multi-generational factory in Korea that's been around for a very long time, and they do incredible work. So, this is our double agent W guitar, and the W stands for Wilkinson. We use a lot of Wilkinson hardware, and almost all of the Reverend Guitars feature a master volume, a master tone, and what we call a bass contour control. So this actually rolls out low frequencies in a similar way to a traditional tone control rolling out high frequencies. So there's no use for like coil taps and things on and splitting on humbucker pickups because you can roll out the low frequencies and get a very similar effect.
Nice.
We also have been doing a lot recently with backsprayed pick guards. So this is our gunmetal on metallic silver frieze.
Beautiful.
And this is our root beer on Venetian gold. And this is a brand new color for 2025. This is Chronic Blue Burst, and it's white pearl to blue sunburst. And yeah, I'm thrilled with it, of course. We do a lot of bolt-on guitars, but we also get into set neck things. The bolt-on guitars are a 25.5 inch scale, and the set necks are 24 3/4. So we're kind of traditional in that realm.
Yeah.
Come around. Here's a handful of the new basses that we're doing for this year, including the Triad 5. We sell a lot of 5-string basses.
Nice.
They were thought and designed as 5 strings, so the low string doesn't feel like an afterthought. It feels like a cohesive unit, right?
Got it.
This is a brand new model for this year, the Ryan Malixi Signature model. They refer to him as Spice. He is the guitar player for the band Hot Mulligan. And they are from our area. They are Midwest Emo AF, one of my absolute favorite bands.
Ryan is AF, I love it.
Ryan has been playing Reverends for 10 years. His idea for a signature model is great. It's our Jetstream 390, but gold hardware, reverse headstock, the gold Wilkinson, and this awesome gold flake over pearl white with a brown back.
Beautiful.
We were able to do the gold hardware for Ryan because of a partnership that we've developed with a guy named Vernon Reid. And Vern, we did 3 different guitars in Vern's line, and you've heard a little bit about this already on this channel from the man himself. On his 3 models, the Shaman features gold hardware, the Talisman features black hardware, and the Mystery Tramp features gold. At Reverend, we have never done anything with black or gold hardware in 27 years.
Right.
But Vern's Vern, right? And what a beautiful concept on a beautiful guitar. And so since we started having the different hardware available, we were able to offer it to some of our other artists.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So is it typical working with someone like Vernon Reid, in case anybody didn't catch that?
In
terms of his involvement, his interest in the aesthetics and playability and otherwise, could you speak to the process at all?
We approach doing signature models differently than most companies do, okay?
Tell me about that.
So our signature model process is, we're not necessarily interested in selling an artist on using something we make, to a point.
Understood.
The concept is we want to make the instrument that the artist has always wanted to play. So a couple of the greatest examples of that I have are right here at my fingertips. This is the Reeves Gabrels model RG1.
Oh, yes.
And this is the Mike Watt Power Mark II. When we started working with Reeves and Mike, it wasn't about putting their name on something we already did. It was about creating the instrument that they've always wanted to play.
Got it.
And so with Mike, it was a long process of prototyping until we actually got what he was looking for. When we pitched this to Mike, we did it because I'm a huge fan. And it took us a few years and many rounds of prototypes to get this thing dialed in. And the bass has a lot of unique features that I'm not going to get into here, but you can check them all out on ReverendGuitars.com.
Sounds good.
And then Reeves Gabrels was a guitar player for Tin Machine.
Yep, I know him well.
David Bowie's musical director, lead guitar player for The Cure. This is his signature Space Hawk model. And when he got the gig in The Cure, he had a use in The Cure for his original signature guitar with us, with his signature rail hammer pickups,
Right.
when doing some of the heavier stuff like Wrong Number and whatever. But there were a lot of, The Cure has an epic catalog that covers a lot of ground.
Sure.
And so he had a lot of different sounds and things that he needed to get done.
Makes sense.
And so he sat with our founder, Joe Naylor, and they designed the Space Hawk guitar somewhat around the Cure gang, so that Reeves could get the sounds that he's known for, but also be able to fill the ground in the Cure that he needed to fill.
Gotta play for the music.
And yeah, man, these guys, I mean, Reeves and Vern, these guys are legends.
Indeed.
And we're,
They're all
you know,
top
we're a
players.
small company from the Midwest, and it's just amazing.
Well, congrats for that. This is
that
exciting.
we've gotten to where we're at. So thank you, and thank you for paying attention.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Ken, out.